22nd of November, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court of Judice... Courtroom 2.
My juju. My diamond,
Juju.
my juju. I've inherited not her power.
Unlock.
I've inherited her juju.
Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense. Why is sudden ingress into my courtroom?
A judicial assistant and a woman, no less.
Oh,
That's misogynist.
The rules state that females are not permitted in this court of law other than to testify.
Yes, I fully understand that. I only asked for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence and must hand over to the defense.
You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded.
5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
Your Excellency.
Miss Grateful.
Get it, Queen.
Oh,
Hi!
Who exactly are you?
Sorry, there's no time. Please simply accept this for now.
Something written in English.
It's just Albert's research.
English woman?
After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical facility and borrowed this paper.
stole the shit.
Oh, yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she?
So,
Does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case?
I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself.
No, of course not.
Special characteristics of Kura and its effects on human subjects. Interesting.
Cure? That? Never heard of that word before.
Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
It's too little time to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note inside the cover. So if you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it.
This is wonderful. Thank you.
Gazale's report has been entered into the court record.
Goodbye then. Good luck. Is she gonna be our Maya for the game?
She's probably going to be our Maya.
You've had long enough, counsel. Cannot detain our English guest any longer. Like the prosecution
your
and defense
research,
now, one less
bitch.
time. Does either side have any further evidence to present? Court, I presume not. But on?
Yeah, let's check
Wait,
it.
yeah, there we go. Poison made from
Poison
the
made
bark of
from-
certain
oh, yeah.
trees in the jungle south of America. A hunter from the region may have used it as acetate. Oh,
Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry. The above mentioned effects occur only when the poison enters the body through a wound that is inflicted through a blow, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have an application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, otherwise, patients would die of suffocation.
anesthetic.
Anesthetic.
He went in for that tooth removal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh shit. If it paralyzed him, he could have still been alive while the
Gun hit him, and when he hit the plate and burned himself, he wouldn't have
couldn't
felt it.
Screamed.
He couldn't have
caused
screamed, or he
full
wouldn't have
body
been able to feel it.
paralyzation. He couldn't breathe either.
Ah, I see.
Nothing more to add. Okay.
Nothing more to add, Your Excellency?
Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance.
Yes, I know. You did it! Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence! And that look. Yielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett?
Yes, Your Excellency?
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
It is a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett, it seems I wasn't clear. I realized it was phrased as a question, however. I must ask you to treat that as an order.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. I can't wait to see you thrown behind bars. So, counsel. What is the new evidence that demands the court's attention? Well, obviously.
Gisele's report.
Yes!
Giselle Brett, I understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yuma University doing research.
Hell, the poison could have even been in the bullet.
But of research by sheer coincidence, perhaps into a deadly poison.
What?
Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel?
A toxin known as Curare? Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
What complete other nonsense? Curar, you say? I've never even heard of it.
That you wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of Curare before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist?
Correct. Which means, no matter what tests police can do for toxins, they never identify a cure.
Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
What?
Order! Counsel, this deadly poison truly exists.
According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, Curare has long been used for the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it's produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. And it was first brought back to Europe on the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with Curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Trumpery! These aspirations are utter trumpery. To
Turn
start
about
with,
Trump.
if the victim had administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners certainly would have noticed.
No, because it was a paralysis. It was an anesthetic. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector?
Obviously, I would have noticed it at disturbance like that.
I don't remember anything like that either. I noticed the professor being in any kind of pain.
According to this, however, it was the other way around.
What do you mean the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that Curare was used.
Explain yourself, counsel.
The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible. Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair underneath him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed.
I don't follow, Kazuma. It's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused him to death.
Full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I've said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail.
Respiration?
In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. No breathing. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
Hideous.
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly Kirar poison.
Suggesting that this bottle, Council, she contains the terrifying poison.
This is all very convenient, isn't it? Either to unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense. If I may. All these facts, you think you're so clever. You must be... It is you who must be taught. Of course. Dear lady. So, this is how you Japanese behave, isn't it?
What?
You steal another's hard work, and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act.
Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean?
Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime. That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection! Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire in Japan is breaking the rules.
Dumbass. What's so funny?
The prosecution is fucking stupid. Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett?
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Oh, well, yes. I don't see, why not?
This is going to taste like hot ass. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Sorry? To an Englishwoman such as myself, the whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics. It's laughable, really.
Oh gosh, she's gonna drink it.
He's gonna drink it. It's probably gonna be like a situation of the poison itself disappearing over time.
Yeah.
But I'm getting bored of it all now, and it's time for the games to end.
Or the poison was on the table behind him because she turned around. I'm still not giving that up until this case ends.
That almost definitely could be the case. Cheers!
Wait, what are you doing?
No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair.
Oh god.
total silence.
Goodness. Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned.
No, you're wrong. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying?
You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett.
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries.
Yes, dear lady. We must be gratified with all the assistance you have given.
Makes sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she...
Turn it around.
How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale?
She turned it around.
I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for an interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London.
There has to have been poison in that bottle. Doesn't there? It can't have been, because otherwise she would have been killed over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke. We have all the clues now. A bottle of water.
Contains no poison.
As I thought, there is no poison in that bottle.
What? Why?
Isn't it obvious? If there was poison in there, she'd be dead by now.
I mean, yeah. Sometimes your unadulterated naivete really astounds me. But sometimes it's in need of a good state. Until it is as dark as your uniform is in the ways of the world.
That what this is supposed to represent?
You don't even know that you attend this school, Ryunosuke.
Wait, that was the wrong answer? It does have poison?
It do- Well, that boodle of water contains poison.
The culprit did put curator poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position.
You're serious?
Objection!
I mean, I get that I doubted you when you said the opposite, but still.
Fool! Are you blind? There is no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw.
Miss Brett drinking water from it?
That's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think.
And I believe that complication can be explained.
How exactly?
Think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer and the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. I was asked you to support the assertion of evidence. What explains how the witness is able to seem this supposedly poisoned water and was it the steak?
Oh, motherfucker.
There's liquid on the
Well,
steak.
no, because he didn't eat it.
Oh, wait.
Wait, that bottle's uncorked.
Yeah, that bottle. Wait, hang on. Yeah, that bottle isn't
has a
open.
cork in it, and we can't see this one. The bottle that we have here is uncorked.
And her glass is empty.
we look at the report of it? Of the poison? Again? See if we missed something?
Vision of sense. Hit the prey. Percent paralysis, even in minute dose. From the poison enters the body through a wound.
Yeah, so she probably could have drank it. So she would have had to have hurt him. Yeah,
Yeah,
she can probably
yeah.
drink it safely.
No! It's because he
What?
drank it. He had a wound from his dental work. He drank it and it got in through the wound from his dental work. She was
Okay,
able to
yeah,
drink it unscathed.
She was able to drink it unscathed. She drank the poison.
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Pratt's own research report.
That's not a valid explanation.
No.
After all, we don't speak English. This report is utter.
That's not a valid counter argument.
This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Honest. Just reading
I mean,
Southern nonsense.
Hosanaga reads it, right? We can just have him read this shit.
Bro, this report is too extensive to consider in its entirety in court. It will direct us to the pertinent section. Okay, here we go. This is it. Which section reveals the alleged
Alright.
answer to the riddle?
Practical applications.
It's written here under practical applications, I think. Wait,
Oh, really? Go on.
think about it. Want to know how the poison can be drunk without taking effect? Practical application of the poison's use as a drink. No.
God damn it.
It wasn't practical
Better
application.
than that.
God, we're going out of this first case with 1 hit left.
I'm so sorry I led you there. Do you know, Skeg?
Yes, I know. I clicked the wrong thing. Read
Read
properly.
properly.
Okay, hang on. Which section was it in? Let's make absolutely sure this time.
Okay.
Synopsis,
This is-
special characteristics,
characteristics.
route of entry.
Okay, let's do this properly. I'm sorry. I knew that was on the second page, but I dumbass.
Okay.
Do you have any more clues?
Direct us there. Special
characteristics.
Let's be more careful next time.
I've been hearing a lot about this cure poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, Council? Sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using the poison for years and years. Place the heads of arrows they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. We've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to...
To the point, please.
But if they were to use the laced arrows, doesn't that mean there'd be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters are going to eat?
Yes, good point.
So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Council. No, that would be madness. I actually found the answer in that conundrum in this research paper here. There's special characteristics. It says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you said. See, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When cure enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever.
What?
Miss Brett, you authored this research in occurs special characteristics, and you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself.
You meddling little.
That thing's alive.
Scallion?
Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're not a dumbass after all.
Just
And
slightly.
a better lawyer. Slightly.
Me? A lawyer?
Oh, this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how it could possibly... So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book? But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
That's not gonna just give a single shit. What are you trying to say? I bet he already has this figured out. He's just waiting for her to shut up.
Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw.
Schoolboyish.
Law?
As even your brain has managed to deduce, Curar is safe to ingest. It seems likely that the effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of gastric succus? Suckass.
Yes, well, of course. Gastric
Gastric
suckers.
sucker.
What are they?
So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he?
Ah,
That's right.
good gracious.
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no?
But he had dental work done. Order in the court, order. The logic holds. Lady and the professor drank the same poison, they wouldn't have been affected the same way.
Are you trying to suggest?
Yes! This Curar poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you should understand something as simple as that.
This welling up inside me. Objection! It's gonna be his first objection! Never felt like this before. This sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Objection!
Hey, baby's first objection! I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett.
How dare you use that tone with me?
You know very well there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we know, that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Would Dr. Wilson have been killed by the... Because of
A fucking
it.
dental report.
Yeah. There's it. As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two dinners. Fatal. Toxic effects of cure are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Right?
Yes, like a wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Miss Brett, you acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day.
You use this knowledge to orchestrate this.
Shit. She... laughing?
I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are so puerile.
What do you even mean?
Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it.
No.
I mean, it could just slip.
Oh dear, how careless of me.
Bitch, you just admitted your guilt by destroying evidence.
Yeah, seriously.
That's basically admitting I did it. I have to get rid of the evidence right in front of everyone to make sure they can't convict me. Oh wait,
I'm
I
afraid
just...
some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed.
She did it purposefully. That's proof enough she did it. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect as much of the water for that broken bottle as possible at once.
You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you it will soak up that water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it.
How could you? You will get away with this?
You can thump the bench and shout as much as you'd like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in this bottle or not.
You.
You!
Get bitch.
And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Of course, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I assume, dear lady?
That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So, of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
Here's where it comes into play.
No, you killed the victim that day using Curai. Curare. Fuck. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor. Before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead
There it
chair
is.
around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man.
Okay, her destroying the evidence is enough reasonable
Yeah,
suspicion to
seriously, that's
convict her
convicting
right
enough.
now. She willingly destroyed that in front of everyone. Everyone could testify that she is just admitted to her own
It's very
guilt.
obvious that it was not an accident, seeing what she
Yeah.
said before. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
You hit it in your ass,
Exactly.
your fat clappers.
Your fat clappers.
It's still there right now.
Simpery. And as you've nothing to support your wad claims, prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot.
My strangest press.
Delivered in cold blood.
In cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
It's unbelievable. How could this be happening? We had her, but now she's really going to get away with it. No, she admitted. Yeah.
Ryunosuke,
He
this court's
admitted.
filled with idiots.
Right.
You've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it.
What do you mean?
We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any other clues for us to use now, they must be in your head.
And Ed?
You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend on.
Wait a second. There could be traces of poison still left in his body.
True.
Well, yes, that's true, but she noticed that this woman was before and there was a swan on her head.
I like that that's a real fucking swan.
Yeah.
She just brought a fucking dangerous bird into the courtroom.
Gonna peck her eyes out in her breakdown, isn't it?
It's probably going to peck her, yeah. Think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day.
Gonna rip her face
Everything
off
you
like
saw.
swans do.
Everything you felt, every color, every smell.
Recollection.
I saw. I felt. Every color. I like how they're using the U spelling. Oh my god, I didn't notice that before. Kazuma, right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory, it seems seen in my head. The clue to expose the identity of Dr. Killer.
There's
Yeah, there's nothing. Oh.
nothing.
Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. The back of everything I saw, I might have uncovered another clue.
You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then. Let us wipe that smug smile off of that Englishwoman's face with some evidence.
We're gonna do the brain blast thing that's in Dual Destiny since Spirit of Justice.
Brain blast!
Alright, I can't wait. It's been... What kind of word is that?
That's a weird one.
For a while, that
Like a
something feels
auto.
amiss in my memories. Whatever it is, key to arriving at the truth about all this. I am afraid to look that up on Urban Dictionary.
I'm pretty sure it's just like a word that's supposed to mean
It's
like
here somewhere.
bothering.
Clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer was. Here. Huh, I wonder, is it the blood on the plate?
Is the blood on the plate? It couldn't be.
Dr. Wilson Nugget, answer me this.
Yes. What is it?
He's still miles away. Probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. You said a number of times now you strive for perfection in your investigation, don't you?
Absolutely.
I wonder, therefore, perhaps if you took anything else from that scene of the crime, like for instance, the plate of steak you took from the victim's table that night.
Wait a minute. What are you going with?
Where are you going with this, little boy?
Just a memory that's been troubling me.
What memory?
Saw the scene shown in the photographic print in my own eyes that day. Saw on the wooden base of the plate of the steak
That is
was a
barely
spattering of blood.
What? Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor.
No, can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. I'm supposed to have shot with Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front.
And didn't
No
pierce
way
him.
the blood from the victim could have been ended up directly behind him.
Yes. For blood to have made it on the plate implies that the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor, as you were. Azael Brett. I beg your pardon.
This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense.
And then he just pulls the plate out from the. He just
It's in
pulls.
this table
Yeah,
here.
he just pulls it out of the towel that he's holding. It's like, yes, here's the plate.
Oh, the table came out of my mouth. This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to.
Inspector, you mean?
Yes, I took the plate in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that you've been eating, Miss Brett, and I ate it myself. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And... Sergeant? And I did it all in the name of justice.
Wait, that means he would have also taken the dude's bottle.
Yeah... Maybe.
Find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on this Brett's plate. We must examine it now.
Bring it here!
Inspector. Court wishes to examine the plate of the victim's table immediately.
Yes, sir.
Who's she going?
Wrong plate.
Yeah, that's the wrong plate.
Here's what you ordered. The steak.
That's blood. Is there blood on it?
Of course there isn't.
Quickly,
blood
Inspector, the
match.
blood match. Show the court.
Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. That's been sitting there for 3 days.
That's not his plate.
Yeah, that's not his plate.
That's... It's not his plate! I already mentioned he wasn't...
Oh god, we have to prove this now.
I know, I saw it. I'm sure of it.
There was a second plate.
Table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate.
What an unbecoming expression, little boy.
Now here's the part where we prove that he was turned around.
You see, this is why you can't trust what the Japanese tell you.
Yep.
I couldn't agree more in the case of the disgraces of the Empire.
I believe we may have finally reached a conclusion in this trial. That's like the 10th conclusion we've reached so far.
Yeah.
This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over.
Read out, Sky.
Ah! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly.
That it was Miss Brett's plate and not
The
the
sorry-looking
victim's.
accused wishes to examine it again. Be my guest.
The plate of steak has been added.
Well, you know what to do. So, just a figment of my imagination. Nope. You have to examine it and show that it has bites taken out of it to know that it's not his steak. Seriously.
Yeah, because he couldn't eat it. So,
Nope, not back.
How is this supposed to be a courtroom? These are obvious! I mean,
Wait, what?
Huh?
What in the world is this?
I think it's a... Oh my god! It's the
Ah!
coin from the old man! She stole it!
No, I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was Koban?
Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable.
It's the first time today that there's been talk about Koban.
I heard of pearls before swine, but I never heard of bullion and bullion.
I don't think you ever will again. It's extraordinary. This means...
We can inspect it, can't we? Or can we not?
What? What? Wait, hang on. Why is the...
Yeah, seriously, what the fuck? I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. Which from the Hoei era too, would make it quite valuable.
Well, marinated juice as well. Take a look.
What? Are you thinking of eating it?
No. Next time I order steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. It's gonna be racing as I left out the meat and pure underneath for a prize.
I think you might have the wrong stick about this, Reno.
Koban coin underneath the steak. Give one logical explanation. Okay, I'm completely lost. What does that prove? Wait.
Why the fuck would she steal that? How did she know that was gonna be there?
Well, I already know what I need to do. I don't get it. So,
Yeah. Inosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what.
And myself. Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. I already did. The evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way. So many further examination of the evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. The defense have any objection? It's going to clinch the trial for me. I just think, you know, any other clues at all? There's another. I don't get what it is, but there is another clue. Let's see. Please wait. This plate of beef is holding another clue. Another clue that reveals a shocking truth.
Literally, the only thing shocking here is your beef. Fascination. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial.
Sorry, Miss Brett. We must ensure a thorough examination of evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
You've almost given 4 rulings.
Yeah.
As a newly firmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it?
Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court what you were alluding. Precisely on this plate. Well, obviously it's the fact that he bit into it, but...
Yeah, lip that shit.
We've already read this.
Yep.
What's it doing under there? It was Ahoy Koban.
Come on, yes. Apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable.
It's time today that there's been talk of Ahoy Koban. They got an extraordinary that, I mean...
Alright, we can present the coin.
I never expected to find a precious coin, and it's expected me from the Hawaii area too, that makes it really quite valuable. Just as well look.
Juices too, look. What are you thinking of eating it? No. The next
Yeah,
time we'll take this to a restaurant.
Look for underneath it for a prize. There's a stick about this weird guy. Color coin underneath the stick, there's only one logical explanation.
Alright, we gotta present it.
Got it!
Got it!
Got it!
Good gracious, that's... Koban?
Hold on.
Koban?
What on earth?
Ahoy Era wanted that.
Miss Brett. This is in fact the beef stick that you ordered at the restaurant in the day in question, isn't it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath this meat?
Ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part in it. Objection! I fail to see how this is relevant. Coin underneath the meat. On the meat bone? That would simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Objection!
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen. A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath this piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip off my ticket to Great Britain right now.
Right, can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. This turns out to be irrelevant to the case. I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
I mean, he's the defendant, so he was invited.
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant.
Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that stake. And the owner? Obviously, there's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the Koban was found underneath the stake is... Curio! Hey there! Why are you coming back?
God damn it.
So it can only be the antique dealer, the owner of Resute, Curio Kuda.
Here we? As in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable.
Ah, yes. Old man who testified earlier alongside the military. Yes, Your Excellency.
I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Busy on the floor. Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Penis treasure! Oh, yeah. The Koban, my prized coin!
Giving a good sucky to the sergeant over there.
Giving a good sucky to the sergeant.
Spoiler or Koban, do you mean the totally...
No, please. Lord Korakuta-san's Koban. He's sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate. It makes no sense.
Of course it doesn't.
Which is why I'm asking to bring Korakuta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him.
You did it perfectly this
Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Not a moment's delay. Oh my god, how long is this case? This is just the first case!
This is the first
If we come back, run to the Aragon. I have a hunch, a strong hunch. And if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, find that it's the key element of the case.
We'll find that Clavendown needs some gushers to keep himself alive during this long-ass case. Oh, we even brought the sergeant back.
Oh, we're gonna have to watch 4 people in the cross-examination?
Yep, knew it.
Well, I got 53 minutes. Well then, we'll do this cross-examination in the next episode.
See you guys later.
Hopefully we'll finish the trial. Holy shit, this game was long.
Jesus Christ, we're never gonna finish this.
I'm gonna cry.